Hi, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, fine. So let's begin the class. Today we are going to discuss with the concept of spontaneity and the Gibbs-free energy, right?
Yeah. Did we finish the heat of neutralization though?
Okay, heat of neutralization we will complete very soon. It will take just 5 minutes. Then we will going for the concept of entropy. So let me share the file with you. Okay. So are you able to see my screen? Yes, right. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so last class we were discussing about the concept of gram equivalent and the concept of we had a concept. I have given you this homework question. So have you tried this question? Have you got the answer for this question?
I think so.
Yeah. So just tell me uh, what you have got.
For the orthophosphoric acid, it's 3. For the orthophosphorus, it's 2. And for the hypophosphor, I can't read that, but that one's 1.
Yeah. For the orthophosphoric, the N factor is 3, and for orthophosphorus acid, N factor is 2, and for hypophosphorus acid is 1. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So why it is 3-2-1? Do you know the reason? Okay.
It has something to do with the basicity, but I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, fine. So phosphorus is a pentavalent compound. It can form 5 bonds. Out of that, you can just put a pi bond across the phosphorus and oxygen, because oxygen needs double bond. And then you have to just draw like this 5 pentavalency. This is the pentavalency. Okay, these are the pentavalent compound. And then you have to draw like this, and then you can see how many H3PO4 there are, how many oxygen are still remaining. There are 3 more oxygen, 1 and 1 plus 3 4. In H3PO3, how many oxygens are there? 3. So you have to just draw more 2 molecules. And what about the hypophosphorus? In hypophosphorus we are having 2, so 1 is already there. You have to draw 1 only. Got it? ठीक है. Then complete the oxygen valency with hydrogen. ठीक है, with hydrogen, OH, H and H. So we are having the 3 hydrogen in all these 3 oxo acids of phosphorus. But in the case of H3PO4, we are having 3 OH bond, and OH bond is a polar bond. So polar means there is a polarity in the bond. Because of the polarity, this bond will cleaved. So this bond will cleaved, 3 hydrogen will be removed in the solution. Okay. Here in case of orthophosphorus acid, we are having only 2 OH bond, so 2 hydrogen will be furnished in the solution. So therefore the number of H ions furnished in the solution is the basicity or N factor of acid. It is the N factor of acid. Okay.
Yeah.
Now in case of H3PO2, H3PO2 is hypophosphorus. So in case of hypophosphorus acid, can you guess what would be the N factor? Only we are having one OH group, means only one single H can be replaceable in the solution. Out of one OH, one H plus will be replaceable in the solution. replaceable. Cool.
Yes.
Any doubt?
No.
Okay, that's cool. So I think now your concept bridge, the concept clarity is now okay. You got the actual real region behind the basicity.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. So people also ask, sir, this is also having a one pH bond, two pH bond. Why this pH bond doesn't break? Why this hydrogen is not able to furnish in the solution? So can you explain why pH bond is not break?
Um, Is it because the pH bond is nonpolar? Is that why?
Yeah, I mean, we see the electronegativity difference is very less. It's a non-polar bond and it's a strong bond. These are the strong bonds. So strong bond doesn't want to break. It is tightly held bond. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now let's have the theory of neutralization. What is neutralization? The neutralization says 1 gram equivalent of acid reacts with 1 gram equivalent of base, produces the heat of neutralization. Heat of neutralization. And heat of neutralization for just a moment, for 1 gram equivalent, for 1 gram equivalent is fixed. That is minus 13.7 kilocalorie per mole, or you can say minus 57.55 kilojoule per mole. ठीक है? It is a
So
yeah,
it's a fixed value.
it is a fixed value for strong acid, strong base. If we are having a weak acid, strong base, or weak base, strong acid, then this value can be calculated through a formula.
One second.
This is
That's
a
negative.
yeah,
What?
negative 13.7 kilocalorie per mole, or minus 57.555 kilojoule per mole. Okay, done.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Now, if I say I am having a weak acid, I'm having a weak acid HA. So this is a weak acid means first it will ionize. First it will ionize in the solution. Ionize in the solution. This is called Ka. So first it will ionize. Once it get the HA, H plus, then it react with the OH minus, comes from the strong base. The OH minus part comes from the strong base, and they both combine together to form hydro. To form hydro. Hydro means water. Cool. So in the case of weak acid or strong base, strong acid or weak base, so weak wala part will undergo ionization. It will produce H plus. H plus react with the OH minus, produces H2O. Okay. So see, the heat of neutralization, heat of or enthalpy of neutralization for this is fixed, minus 13.6 or minus 57.55. Okay, but for this we need to calculate. For this it's not fixed. Okay, ionization value of this is not fixed. So this value we have taken delta ionization H as X. Okay, so what will be the total heat of neutralization? you have to combine these two reactions. You have to combine these two reactions. Once you combine, you will get a final reaction third. What you will get? You will get H plus will cancel out. Ha plus OH minus aqueous. This comes from NaOH. A strong base produces A minus plus water. ठीक है? This is called the complete neutral reaction. Complete neutral reaction. So complete neutral reaction comes from the addition of first and second. Addition of first and second. So can you tell me the third is the total sum of the enthalpy of third reaction is the total sum of first and second? Any doubt?
No, I'm just writing it down.
Okay.
So this is for weak acid, strong base, and also weak base and strong acid.
Yeah, it is true for the both cases. In the case of weak acid or weak base, we are having an extra value. That extra numeric value will be the heat of ionization, or we say enthalpy of ionization. So how's the atmosphere there in Angola now? It's hot or it's cold?
Well, it's technically the colder season right now because we're in the southern hemisphere, but it doesn't get that cold. It goes down to like 20-ish degrees because we also live by the coast.
Okay, it is not that close. Cool. So yeah, but in our place, because in Delhi, once it comes to cold, it's winter season, the temperature, the mercury goes down till 4 degree, 3 degree, 2 degree, and there is a lot of a lot of smog in the atmosphere.
Yeah, no, it doesn't get very cold here at all because we're by the ocean and
But
also
you
not.
but if you are having any friend in the Canada, this time Canada is the hottest country across the globe.
Yeah, it's getting really hot there.
Yeah.
Friends.
The temperature has shooted till 50 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, okay.
Have you written all these three equations?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. ठीक है, fine, wonderful. ठीक है. So
Yeah.
the value of, if you want the ionization value, how can you calculate the ionization value? So you can calculate the ionization value, delta neutralization H will be given to you. That data will be given to you. Neutralization H equal to X is the ionization enthalpy plus delta neutralization of strong acid, strong base. Strong acid, strong base, that value is already given to you, minus 13.6 kilocalorie per mole. So you can get the X value, delta neutralization H, weak acid, strong base, minus delta neutralization H, strong acid, strong base. Cool. That is the formula to calculate the enthalpy of ionization.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so shall we have a question on this? A little question, so you can, your conceptual grip will be more tighten up. So let's have the question on this. Thermochemistry. Yeah. Okay, the question is like this. If enthalpy of neutralization, question is this. If enthalpy of neutralization of CS3COH by HCl, hydrochloric acid, is minus 49.86 kilojoule mole inverse, then enthalpy of ionization of CS3COH. ठीक है, ये निकालना है. This is what you need to find it out, and we have got the HCl by NaOH because CS3COH already acid. So by alkali NaOH. So if enthalpy of neutralization by CS3COH acetic acid by NaOH is minus 49.86 kilojoule. ठीक है?
Yeah.
Per mole, then enthalpy of ionization of acetic acid is, options they have given you, 5.98 kilojoule per mole, minus 5.98 kilojoule per mole. Option C is 105.7 kilojoule per mole. Option D is none of these. So you need to find out the value. And the second question I'm writing here, first you do this. What is delta neutralization enthalpy of strong dibasic acid? That is the second question. You have to figure out the answer for this. Second question I'm writing, so you can do all the question in simultaneously. Dibasic base AOH का whole twice by HNO3. ठीक है? So for strong acid, strong base, enthalpy is already given to you. That is 57.55. So for this case, the data they have given you 55.84. They have given you 55.84 kilojoule per mole. So take this value 55.84. Enthalpy of neutralization for strong acid, strong base. 55.84.
Would then the answer be 5.98 kilojoules per mole?
Yeah, it will be in positive or negative. That is what I wanted to know.
I think it's going to be positive.
Yeah, enthalpy of ionization will always be positive because you are providing the energy in order to break the ionic bond, ionic force. Okay. Okay, what about this one? What will be the enthalpy of neutralization of strong dibasic base by strong acid HNO3? So here we are getting 2 OH minus. For 2 OH minus, 2 H plus required. So we will get 2 mole of water. So this is just the twice of enthalpy of neutralization. Twice of enthalpy of neutralization, right? So you have to just multiply twice of minus 55.84. You will get the value. Any doubt?
No, let me just write it down.
Okay, please. How far Ghana from your place, Angola?
It shouldn't be that far, but because of like flights and stuff, it takes quite a while to get here. It's actually not that far.
Okay.
Or I suppose it depends on what you consider far. I have a very weird meaning of far because I just live outside of India.
Okay. So what is the mode of commute? How you guys travel across the state? By your own vehicle or by the flight?
Oh, across the state? Ghana.
Nee,
Across state.
across the like Angola and Ghana is both are in the same state or they do, these are like
No,
a
no, no, they're different countries.
oh, okay.
Mhm.
Country mean it's a very big means like India is a very big country.
Okay, obviously not as big as India. India is very big.
Yeah.
But you have to go by flight because it's a different country.
Okay.
I think it's around like maybe it's like 3,000 kilometers. That's pretty far, but
3,000 kilometer. Okay.
yeah. So the enthalpy of neutralization can be less than can be negative. Is it always going to be negative?
Enthalpy of neutralization means always there will be a liberation of heat. So when heat is evolving or liberating means the value has to be exothermic. Exothermic means it should be negative. So heat of
Yes.
neutralization will always be negative. Heat of ionization will positive. In the case of strong acid, strong base, we don't have any ionization. We have just neutralization.
Yeah, okay.
Got it?
Yes.
I think we need to add more screen. Just give me a moment. Okay, so now we will begin with the entropy. Okay. So if I say you about entropy, so what do you understand by entropy? Entropy. do you feel that suppose you are sitting in a room, means you are not, you and your friends are sitting in a room, you all like 10 people are in a room, and sudden earthquake strikes in the Angola. So what you guys will do? You guys will run away from the room, you guys will escape out from the room, right?
Yes.
So what will happen? All the sitting chair will be having a chaos. There will be a disordered, highly orderness in the room, because chairs not in the same position,
Mhm.
right? So what does happen during this process? You guys just run away, and the entropy in the room, matlab chaos in the room, got more value, begin more high, right? Chaos is the more good, more high value. Okay? So when chaos increases or when randomness increases either in the system or in the universe, that term is called the entropy. So entropy generally means it is the degree of measurement of disorder or randomness in the given system. Okay? And entropy change of universe is the sum of entropy change of system plus entropy change of surrounding. Okay? So entropy is the degree of measurement of disordered or randomness in the given system. Okay?
And that is you use delta S for it.
Yeah, delta S stands for the entropy change in entropy. Because absolute value, it is very tough to calculate. You have to calculate the change in entropy.
Yeah.
Okay? And it comes from the second law of thermodynamics. Entropy comes from the second law of thermodynamics. It states the entropy of irreversible process is keep on increasing. Therefore, universe on the verge of expansion. On the verge of expansion means universe is always expanding. The universe we are living is a ever expanding universe. The universe we are living is a ever expanding universe. Got it? So second law of thermodynamics is the entropy of irreversible process is keep on increasing. Therefore, universe means natural process, and all the natural process are the irreversible in nature. The entropy of irreversible process or natural process, irreversible or natural. The process are natural process are irreversible. Like flood ana, there will be a over deluge, the flood and the lightning, thunderbolting, right? A storm, all these things are natural. So natural process are irreversible. Okay?
Yeah.
Any doubt?
No.
Okay. I think now when it comes to your subject chemistry, so now you are like a cream of the crop. Means you are getting the command, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So today I have downloaded this book, this not Tata McGraw Hill, Pearson book. I got the Pearson book, and I have seen the numericals. They are very, direct formula based numerical. Done?
Yep.
Okay. Now I'm considering a process. In a process A to B, the system changes from P1 V1, system changes from P1 V1 T1 to P2 V2 T2. ठीक है? P1 V1 T1 to P2 V2 T2. Cool. And this process could be isobaric, isothermal, adiabatic, whatever it be. So we have to calculate the change in entropy for this process, right? And the formula of entropy is the ds, or the ds is the dq upon t, dq reversible. See, this is the formula of entropy change, or delta S is equal to delta Q upon T. Temperature in Kelvin, this is the mathematical formula. It is the ratio of temperature and heat change. Okay? Now, you want to calculate the entropy change, you have to do like this. TdS is equal to dq. And then you have to change dq reversible from the first law of thermodynamics. What is the first law of thermodynamics? du is equal to dq plus dw. You know that? So dq will be du minus dw. Put this value of dq here. You will get TdS is equal to du minus dw. I hope it's right. Okay? Have you got this step?
Yeah, let me just write. So the dq reversible is just du minus dw.
Yeah, that's right. dq reversible is equal to dq minus du minus dw.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. So you know what is dw? It is the minus pv work minus p external dv. You can put the value of dw here. So when you will put the value, you will get TdS is equal to dq already du plus pdv. TdS is equal to du plus pdv. Any doubt? See, it's a minus, so minus minus is plus, so plus pdv, right?
Can you go back for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. Now I'll tell you one thing. As you know, in the adiabatic process, dq reversible is 0, right? So du is equal to dq plus dw. dq becomes 0, so du become dw. du become dw. And you know what is du? You know, have you heard about a term called cv? Cv is the heat supplied at constant volume. Heat supplied to the system at constant volume. At
Wait,
constant.
can you say that one more time from the beginning? Just.
Huh?
Can you say that one more time? The dq reversible is equal to 0.
Yeah, it is in the adiabatic process.
Yeah.
If the process is adiabatic process means heat change between system and surrounding is negligible. That's why we consider adiabatic process dq reversible is 0, right?
Yeah.
And you know, in the case of in the case of CV is the heat supplied at constant volume. So when we consider the isochoric process, what is the isochoric process? Isochoric process, volume dV or delta V is 0, volume change is 0. So volume change is 0, so dW become 0, so du become dW plus dq, right? And it's a first law of I am only playing with the first law of thermodynamics.
Yeah.
Okay, so dW becomes 0 in the isochoric process. So from here it comes. From here it comes. What we have written now, heat supplied at constant press volume. So heat supplied at constant volume is CV, and that is equal to du. So du equal to NCV dt. du का फॉर्मूला होता है NCV dt, क्योंकि जो CV होता है, this CV is the heat supplied at constant volume. It is nothing but the heat change upon change in temperature, dq by dt. CV is the ratio of dq by dt. So I'm going to tell you one thing, that heat supply at constant volume, it is the heat change with respect to temperature. It is the heat change with respect to temperature. So CV is equal to dq by dt. CV equal to dq by dt. And you know, dq is equal, this dq is the constant volume, this dq is the heat change at constant volume, heat change at constant volume. And when we apply the first law of thermodynamics for isochoric process, it means dw has to be 0, so du becomes dq, so du becomes dq. That's why heat change at constant volume is du. So we put in place of dq, we put du. When we put du, we get the value of du. So du का value से निकल के आ गया. Du, we have got the du, right? So the value of du comes out to be from this. Once we put du in place of dq. So what is the du? Du is CV dt. CV dt for, and what about for, this is for 1 mole. What about for n mole? For n mole it will be NCV dt. Okay, so this is a sequence of process. Basically, direct formula in book, they will write the direct formula. From where you got this, they won't tell you. But since you are studying for IIT JEE, you have to understand the logic behind that. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. So du is equal to NCV dt. So you put in the place of du, you put NCV dt. Okay. Okay. And what is pressure? You know, PV is equal to nRT.
Yes.
So pressure is equal to nRT by V. Pressure is equal to nRT by V. So TDS become NCV dt plus nRT by V dV. Any doubt here?
No.
Okay. So why I did this kind of things? Actually, I want this whole equation in terms of temperature dt or dV, because here we are having a volume element V, and then dV, here we are having a temperature element T, and then dt. So we can integrate, because we wanted to get the formula of entropy, so we have to integrate the ds term. Once we integrate the ds term, we get the formula of entropy, right? Is that clear? Up to this it's clear, no?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to get the new page. So going for the, okay, so here it will be TDS equal to NCV dt plus nRT by V dV. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see, the ds become NCV upon T dt plus nRT आप बाहर ले लो, अंदर हो जाएगा dV by V. So you can write like this. इसको integrate, then go for the integration. Here you can integrate from T1 to T2, V1 to V2, S1 to S2. ठीक है? This is the limit. Now, if you integrate ds, it will be s2 s1. Here, if you integrate dt upon t, what will be the integration? dx upon x integration क्या होता है? ln x. So it will be the ln t t2 upon t1. What about this? This will be the nr. अच्छा, when you are dividing with temperature, तो यहाँ पर टेम्परेचर आएगा तो क्या हो जाएगा? tt will cancel out. tt will cancel out. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, it will be nr ln v, v2 to v1. Now we got the final formula. Just formula. This become delta s. It become ncv ln t2 by t1. It becomes nr ln v2 by v1. Done. Any doubt in this process?
No, let me just write it down though.
Yeah, you have to write all these things. This is a kind of mathematical part. So for studying the thermodynamics of JEE level, you need to have the understanding of integration and differentiation.
Yeah.
Can you tell me who is the father of calculus? Who discovered calculus?
The father of calculus. Wait, was it not Isaac Newton? And I don't remember the other name.
Yeah, it's Isaac Newton.
Wasn't there also one other person? I
Galileo.
can't remember. Was it Galileo?
Yeah, I guess Galileo. I don't remember the correct. I also don't remember. I remember about the Newton. But there is a second person also. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so now this is the formula. This is the general formula. I want you to do some little calculation, means little application of your mind. You have to apply and analyze. So this is the general formula. This is the general formula for entropy change. NCV ln T2 by T1 plus NR ln V2 by V1. Correct. Now you have to calculate the entropy change for isothermal process, entropy change for the isobaric process, entropy change for the isochoric, isobaric, entropy change for the adiabatic process. Okay, from this formula. So you see, isothermal means T1 equal to T2, means this becomes NCV ln1. ln1 means 0. So the formula becomes NR ln V2 by V1. Any doubt?
No.
Okay. Isobaric means V1 is equal to V2. So NR ln V1 V2 cancel out. It will become NCV ln T2 by T1. Cool. Clear?
Yeah.
In the case of isobaric, neither volume is constant nor temperature is constant. Pressure is constant. When pressure is constant, that time you have to change CV from CP, because in terms of pressure, constant pressure is applied, so CV becomes CP, heat change at constant pressure, ln T2 by T1 plus NR ln. And you know, from the Boyle's law, if temperature is constant, V2 by V1 is equal to P1 by P2, nr ln P1 by P2. It is you know, constant, it will become 0. So the formula will be ncp ln T2 by T1. ठीक है?
One second.
Any doubt?
Let me look through it one second. So the NCV becomes NCP.
Yes, Cv becomes Cp for the constant pressure, because
Yeah.
see, it's a constant volume, there is Cv, but for constant pressure it will be Cp. And Cp is nothing but change in heat upon change in temperature, dq by dt. And you know, at constant pressure, already I told you, at constant pressure Qp becomes du plus pdv. This Qp is nothing but du plus pdv. So Qp become del H, enthalpy, right? Heat supplied at constant pressure. Can you see from the first law of thermodynamics? I have explained you.
Yeah.
So Qp becomes enthalpy change. So you can say that Cp is equal to nothing but dH by dt. Cv was dq by dt, du by dt, and Cp is dH by dt. Any doubt?
No.
Okay. So these are the just by using your mind. So in the cognitive manner, in the affective manner, means now can you feel the feeling of thermodynamics? That feeling is the affective manner, and then it comes the psychomotor manner. Psychomotor means you are able to apply thermodynamics in real life. So all these three parts of a effective learning outcome. So my focus on the effective learning outcome. So first outcome is cognitive. Cognitive means apply, analyze, understand, remember, evaluate, create. So now you're able to analyze and evaluate and apply.
Yeah.
If you feel little bit, means am I running fast or am I okay? The speed is okay.
No, you're good. It's okay.
Okay. Now the last one. Are you still writing?
No, I'm done.
What about adiabatic reversible? Adiabatic reversible means dq reversible is 0, right? So entropy comes from dq reversible upon dt. So it will become 0. Means entropy will become 0. So adiabatic reversible is a entropy is 0, means change in entropy is 0. Change in entropy is 0 means S1 equal to S2. Means it's an isoentropic process. It's a isoentropic process. Isoentropic.
So adiabatic processes are isoentropic.
Yeah. But here is the catch. I told you adiabatic reversible, not adiabatic irreversible. Adiabatic irreversible is not isoentropic, because once we go for the calculation of entropy, we have put dq reversible. What we have put? dq reversible. dq reversible is 0 in the adiabatic reversible, but dq irreversible is not 0. So adiabatic irreversible formula will be same as what we have calculated. Delta S for adiabatic irreversible will be ncv ln T2 by T1 plus nr ln V2 by V1. ठीक है? Cool, got it?
Okay, so when it's reversible, it's 0, but when it's irreversible, you use the same equation as before.
Yeah, as required what we have calculated. Because anyway, in adiabatic process, once we apply the adiabatic process, what I told you, in adiabatic process, du is equal to dw. And what is du? Du is equal to ncv dt. So anyhow, we have to get the cv term. So cv term is coming in this process, and v2 v1 is coming. So adiabatic irreversible, we has to use cv. So never confuse with the CP. CP कभी use नहीं करेंगे. We have to use CP. CP will be only used when the process is isobaric, constant pressure. ठीक है?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this is the entropy. We will take the numericals on entropy very soon. Now I'm going with the Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. Gibbs-Helmholtz equation. What is Gibbs-Helmholtz equation? It is the relation of Gibbs free energy. It is the relation of Gibbs free energy with the enthalpy and entropy. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Now you will ask, sir, what is Gibbs free energy? Now you will ask, what is Gibbs free energy? Right? This is the fundamental equation. And for spontaneity of a system or any process, delta G should be negative. Delta G should be negative. So can you explain about the Gibbs free energy change? What is Gibbs free energy?
One second, let me just write it down. I'm sorry, what was the question?
My question is that what is the mean of Gibbs free energy? How can you define the Gibbs free energy? Okay, so I'm going to tell you. Gibbs free energy is the total available energy of the system. The G, delta G or Gibbs free energy is the available energy with the system against which useful work by the system could be attained or derived. Means it is the available energy which is available for the useful work. It is the net amount of energy which is available for useful work. It is available for useful work. What is useful work? Useful work is the non-PV work. Non-PV means not gaseous, electrical or mechanical work. Mechanical work or electrical work. Because mechanical work, suppose you have went outside and you wanted to get 5 liter, 10 liter of water from the hand pump. So mechanically you are doing the things. So in that particular process, the energy of your body is decreasing. Energy of your body is decreasing, right? Can you feel that?
Yes.
If you do any kind of work, so because you are doing work against the compensation at the cost of your energy, you are doing the work at the cost of your energy, right? So this is useful work because energy is getting decreased and some useful event is taking place. But when gaseous are working, expansion or compression, so system is not doing anything, you are not doing anything, process is not doing anything, only gases are doing the things. So PV work is non-useful work. PV work means gaseous work is non-useful. Yes. Non-useful. Any doubt?
No.
I hope you got this concept clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'll take you for the mathematically proof of this statement. what I have told you, there is a mathematical provement, and that will be the last topic of our class. And the sign conversion is the little less topic that we will be covering up either in this class or next class. Okay, I will cover the Gibbs free energy statement. So you know, do you know that formula? This formula, delta G is equal to del H minus T del S, or you can write like this: dg is equal to dh minus tds. Can you write like this? Any doubt? Okay. And what is tds? What is ds? ds is equal to t dq upon t. So tds is equal to dq. Can you put the value of tds here? So dg become dh minus dq. Okay. So now dg become, and what is the first law of thermodynamics? du is equal to dq plus dw total. It is a dw total. Okay. Now you can put the value of dq. So dg become dh minus dq. Minus dq means du minus dw. I hope it's clear to you. Any doubt?
No.
Cool. Okay. Now dw. Okay. It's a dw total. So it will become dh. It will become dh minus du, and minus minus plus dw total. So dg become dh minus du plus dw. What is dw? dw total is dw pb plus dw non pb. Total means it is a combination of both work, pv and non pv. Any doubt here?
No.
Okay. So now dh minus du, this will be the minus pdv. dwpv means minus pdv. It will be dw non pv. Okay. Now you can do one thing. You can break the dh. What is dh? dh is nothing but the du plus pdv. That is dh. You know this formula I have told you.
Yeah.
So you can put the formula here: du minus du plus pdv minus du minus pdv. So it will cancel out, become 0, and only what we will get non pv. We will get dg equal to non, what we have got dg equal to dw non pv. Are you clear with this concept?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
Yes. So what we are required, as I told you, dg equal to the cost of energy. It is the available energy for utilizing and for making the process to do useful work. It is very important for the useful work. So what we have got dg equal to dw non pv.
Yep.
Now you have to multiply by negative sign on both sides. Negative sign means energy is decreasing. What is the meaning of negative signs? The dg is decreasing means decreasing at the cost of work, because system is doing work. And when we are getting the minus w, that means it is the work done by the system. Minus is the indication of work done by the system. Got it? Because I told you the work done positive means work done on the system. Work done negative means work done by the system. So why system is doing the work? Because this minus value, because dg is getting increased, so this energy is getting transferred into the system, and system is doing the work. Any doubt here?
No.
So this is the higher dimension of thermodynamics where you need to apply your brain. I think this is clear.
Yeah.
What is, so you want to pen down this? Have you written all this?
No, not the one after this.
You want to write all this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can write it out, no problem.
No, I mean, I can do it later. The actual deriving the equation, I can do that later when you send the
Okay,
PowerPoint. That's
okay. I'll send the PowerPoint, then you can do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So we have done with the Gibbs free energy. Only the thing is that we need to play with the sign of delta H or delta S in order to get the value of delta G as a negative delta G. Only 4 cases are there, sign cases, that we will be taking in the next class, and where we will be covering up the whole concept of spontaneity. Spontaneity means delta G has to be negative.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Any doubt in the session, so I can explain you, because so don't worry about the extension of time. It will be only 1 hour. I will consider as a 1 hour because I have started little late, right? So you can ask your doubt. If you have any doubt.
No, I don't have any. I'm gonna sit down this weekend and look through everything, and if I have any questions, I'll let you know next class.
Okay, cool, fine, wonderful. Okay, so okay, then next week we are going to begin the new chapter. I think we can begin with the hydrocarbons, the organic part.
Can we do kinetics first, 6 and 16?
Okay, we can do the chemical kinetics, because yeah, definitely all these things will be in the same sequence, because we are as of now we are doing the physical chemistry, the chemistry.
Yeah.
So chemical kinetics is also the part of physical chemistry.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, then see you next week. Till then, I'll share this PPT, and you can go through the PPT, practice the questions, and we will complete the thermodynamics in next week.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, take care. Bye bye.